Were left freezing in the dark for days, ERCOT is finally offering some answers.
On today's North Texas road trip, we'll give you a look into a sweet destination in Dallas.
Unseasonably warm weather could be good for planting. I have more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Kayla Holt.
And I'm Michelle Brooks. After statewide power outages, more than 100 lives lost, and a legislative investigation, ERCOT has released their preliminary report on the winter storm that put Texas in the dark. The report details the causes of the outages based on the information from electrical monitoring entities in charge of power getting to the generators. ERCOT's data shows that the levels of outages increased the night the storm arrived and continued to about the same level into midday on Wednesday. The biggest factor causing the outages was weather-related. ERCOT plans to provide this preliminary report to members of the Texas legislature along with a final report that they say will be more comprehensive. This final report is set to be released later this year. However, ERCOT says this preliminary finding is sufficient in answering many of the concerns about February's winter storm. ntTV will keep you updated as more information is available.
Well, the winter weather is behind us and spring is finally here. That means Texans are starting to exercise their green thumbs. Gardening has become a popular hobby, and a variety of plants and vegetables can grow depending on the season. Currently, for the beginning of April, vegetables like sweet corn, eggplants, and watermelons will thrive in our current weather. Meanwhile, during the second half of the month, vegetables like okra, sweet potatoes, and summer squash have the best chances at growing. And even if you are a college student with just an apartment balcony, planting in small pots can make for a great study break.
Well, Kayla, with all this windy weather, it doesn't seem like the perfect day to start planting.
I know, it's not exactly the best time to start some Mayflowers going. Hopefully that's going to change soon. Let's head over to our weather anchor, Hannah Gonzalez, for a first look at weather. Hannah?
Well, Michelle and Kayla, I'm at the community garden here at UNT. People are gardening behind me, so don't let those high wind speeds discourage you from going out. But we are experiencing those high wind speeds due to the wind advisory that we are currently in. It started today at noon and will continue until midnight tonight. We should expect south winds coming at 20 to 30 miles per hour with up to 35 miles per hour gusts. Now, the areas affected by this advisory is the southeast and the south central Texas. Now, with these high temperatures, we are seeing unseasonably warm weather with an average of a few degrees warmer than normal, with rainfall half an inch below the average. Drought conditions are continuously to get worse in North Texas. We can see the screen. Denton and parts of Dallas are sitting in the moderate drought, while cities like Bowie, Decatur, and Fort Worth range in severe drought conditions. Our current drought and increased winds makes us more susceptible to wildfires, which can cause severe damage. Now let's go ahead and look at our current conditions in Denton. Right now we're sitting at 80 degrees. Does feel a bit cooler due to those high wind speeds at 76, and we're seeing 22 miles per hour coming from the south. Now moving into tonight's conditions around 9 p.m., we're still going to see partly cloudy skies with a bit cooler temperatures sitting at 78. Then tomorrow the wind speeds are going to die down, sitting at 12 miles per hour coming from the west, but still warm skies sitting at 78 degrees. Now that's all I have for first look. Make sure you stay tuned later on in the show when I break down the 7-day forecast. Michelle and Kayla, back to you.
Thanks, Hannah. A small college in Colorado became the first university in the country that will require students proof of a COVID-19 vaccine to come back to school this fall. CNN's Mark Salinger has the story.
The pandemic has taken away a lot of the social parts of college. For much of the past year, schools all around the state have gone to virtual learning. Now vaccines offer a chance to get back to that ever-elusive normal we knew before the pandemic.
The big thing is, the more students we can have vaccinated, the better chance we have of having a normal semester.
More than 280,000 students go to college in Colorado. Each school makes their own rules when it comes to who has to get the vaccine. There's only one school in the state that's mandated that all students be vaccinated before returning to campus in the fall. They're also one of the first in the country to do that. That's Fort Lewis College in Durango. The president of the school says it's their best shot at keeping students in the classroom safely.
Students would submit proof of vaccine, the vaccine card, or some other kind of proof that they had been vaccinated to be eligible to be in classes.
President Tom Straticus says mandating the COVID vaccine isn't all that different from mandating other vaccines that students are already required to have. 70% of classes are already in person. Here at the University of Denver, school leaders are hoping that 90% of students, faculty, and staff will get vaccinated. That's the goal. They're not mandating that everyone get vaccinated, but they're hoping that on-campus vaccination clinics will help them get there.
So we are hoping to offer vaccination on campus for everyone before the term ends this year.
Sarah Watamura is the COVID coordinator at DU and a professor in the Department of Psychology. She believes enough students and faculty will want to get the vaccine that they won't need to mandate it.
You actually have very good cooperation when people feel that they have choice and they have opportunity.
From football games to on-campus plays to in-person study groups, schools around the state see vaccines as a big step forward towards getting all of that back, one vaccine at a time. In Denver, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
Although every university makes their own rules on who gets the vaccine, many university leaders are hoping for a high percentage of faculty, students, and staff to get vaccinated for everyone's safety. The goal is to get everyone vaccinated to bring them back to a normal and safe semester.
Many Texans are returning to their normal life as people get the effective COVID-19 vaccination. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed an order to stop organizations in some cases that get state money from requiring consumers to prove they've been vaccinated. As a state educational institution, is UNT affected? ntTV's Donald Britton has more with the updates.
Thanks, guys. Well, as we just reported, only a few universities in the country so far are requiring students and employees to get the COVID-19 vaccine for this fall semester. And just yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order restricting so-called vaccine passports. This order prohibits state agencies and local governments from requiring proof of vaccination. ntTV has reached out to the University of North Texas to see how this will affect the fall semester. UNT is studying the executive order for any possible impact, and we'll keep you updated as new information becomes available. That's all I have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Donald. COVID-19 vaccines are becoming more available to all age groups, and now young children are in trial tests for the shots. A new study shows that a majority of parents say that they'll likely get their children the COVID-19 vaccine, but there is a split along political party lines. Overall, 52% of moms and dads will be getting their kids vaccinated, while the other group, those who are opposed to the shot, are mainly composed of Republicans. The poll also found that almost half of parents have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
There are many opinions on social media's contributions to society, but in one case, a live stream video saved a boy's life.
And kids take a pause from their exams. Learn why when we come back.
When you park in front of the ramp, somebody can't make it up the ramp. When somebody can't make it up the ramp, they miss their class. When they miss their class, they fail their final. When they fail their final, they drop out of school. If you drop out of school, you get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Don't get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Be courteous. Don't block wheelchair ramps.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
What was supposed to be the beginning of the end for many Texas students ran into technical issues today. The state-mandated STAR exam failed this morning. Students across Texas ran into issues like slow response times, inability to log in, and failure to continue taking the exam. The Texas Education Agency sent out a statement saying that school districts were informed of the problem just after 10 a.m. and were directed to stop all exams. The problem was in the system's database and is being repaired. A new company will handle the testing in the fall. As for today's efforts, the state says the answers were saved every 30 seconds, so students should be able to resume testing where they left off. School districts across the state will now have to figure out their STAR testing schedule, but here in Denton, a decision has been made. ntTV's Chris Cordova has more. Chris?
Thanks, Michelle. I'm here outside the Denton ISD building that, like many school districts, have postponed their STAR testing. According to district spokesperson Derek Jackson, roughly 7,000 students over grades 4, 7, and 9 were affected. Neighboring school district Crum ISD has rescheduled their STAR testing for April 13th. Denton ISD sent out a letter today assuring parents that students who took a paper exam were able to complete the test without issue. No information has come out yet on when Denton ISD plans on resuming testing. That's all I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chris. It looks like some students just got an excuse to relax. Hopefully there's some spring weather coming up to distress them.
Yeah, Kayla, I'm so excited for sunny skies and warm weather. Let's check in with Hannah to see what's in store for the rest of the week. Hannah?
Michelle and Kayla, I'm still at the community garden. You can see the vegetables behind me, a good sign of spring. But let's go ahead and move into that weather. If you're just tuning in, we can see Denton is sitting at 80 degrees, along with some other cities, McKinney, Decatur, Bowie, and Sulphur Springs, all at 80 degrees. Now we see Graham at 86 and Dallas at 82. If we zoom out and look at our state map, we can see Abilene is sitting at 89 degrees, Oklahoma City and Houston both at 77, and then El Paso is in the same boat with us with that wind advisory, but additionally they also have a red flag warning. Now let's go ahead and move into that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is going to be partly cloudy skies with a high of 78, low of 48, and then Thursday the sun is going to come back to us with a high of 83, low of 58. And of course, Texas weather can't make up its mind. On Friday, we're going to see 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon with a high of 78, low of 52. But then on the weekend, we're going to have beautiful weather, sunny skies on Saturday with a high of 77, Sunday with a high of 84. Starting our work week on Monday, it's just going to be cloudier and not as warm with that 20% chance of rain with a high of 75, a low of 49. That's all I have for weather tonight. Sending it back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Hannah. Who knew that a live stream TikTok could save a life? A New Hampshire teen is credited with helping save another boy's life 800 miles away in West Virginia. CNN's Charisse Leclerc has the story.
She said, "Thank you so incredibly much. I can't express how thankful our family is for your quick thinking and ability to get help."
Caden Cottonor reading a note from the mother of the boy he saved.
All of a sudden, like, his phone goes kind of blank. Like, you can see a little bit of light, but brown, like, leaves. And then you can just hear him, like, yelling and kind of just yelling for help.
It happened during this live feed on TikTok showing 12-year-old Trent Jarrett in his home state of West Virginia. Caden follows him because of shared interests over hunting, fishing, and four-wheeling. Seconds into Trent's feed, something very clearly goes wrong.
It was pretty, like, sad to hear, like, he's scared that he's not going to make it out.
In the confusion and chaos of the live stream, Caden could hear Trent calling out numbers.
I was yelling out my grandparents' house phone number.
The only number he could remember, and it was a lifesaver because Caden was listening.
At that point, I knew something was wrong, and I brought the phone to them.
Caden's stepdad, Matt Courier, chief of Gilmanton Police.
He did what he was supposed to do and got the right people, and it worked out. It was a Easter miracle.
Trent's parents managed to find their son and lift the ATV off of him. He had been trapped 15 to 20 minutes.
I couldn't hardly breathe.
He's cut and bruised, but today these two friends who have never met came face to face.
I just like to thank him for everything that he's done.
My only reward is that he's fine.
Does this kind of strengthen your guys' friendship here a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens, I'm always there, like, in his thing. So if something ever goes wrong, I'll most likely be there, like, to help and stuff. And hopefully we get to meet one day.
Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
A coloring book might just save a Denton landmark you maybe saw on Fry Street a few years ago. We have the story.
And for all the coffee lovers, Starbucks will start a new eco-friendly initiative that will take care of the planet and your pocket. We'll explain when we come back.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
You know, Kayla, I've been really wanting to visit an art exhibit, but one that's anything but basic.
Well, Michelle, you're in luck because our very own North Texas road trip anchor, Nomi Sanchez, has found the perfect Instagrammable spot for us. Nomi, what can you tell us?
Well, ladies, I can promise you this place is kind. Whether you're in the mood to take pictures or just want to see some of the funkiest art in this exhibit, you'll have it all. Let's take a look. Hi guys, and welcome to North Texas Road Trip. This week we took a trip to Dallas where we met the most colorful and most delicious of places, Sweet Tooth Hotel. Located just inside downtown Dallas resides Sweet Tooth Hotel, an immersive art venue bringing the most unique and colorful of art exhibits to visitors. Making its first appearance in 2018, Sweet Tooth Hotel has showcased various forms of experimental art, from candy-themed rooms to discotheque, and now a fabric fairy tale. Featuring an all-female cast of artists, this new exhibit consists of the country's top fiber artists, using more than 2 million feet of yarn to create their amazing displays.
We're definitely trying to give people a moment of joy, a lot of color, a lot of brightness, a lot of creativity, trying to get people away from everything going on and giving them a space to see other creatives and hopefully inspire them to be creative themselves and to be able to do some of these things at home.
With the 10 displays available for viewing, Sweet Tooth Hotel ensures every room captures the distinct emotions, colors, and aesthetic each display tries to encapsulate. Apart from the exhibit, Sweet Tooth Hotel offers some sweet drinks to go with your experience, from creations like the Very Cherry Berry to the Sweetheart Slushie. Any of these drinks is bound to satisfy your sweet tooth.
We love to support local people, support people around, and give anybody an opportunity that has something awesome going on.
Well guys, there y'all have it. If you're ever in the Dallas area, this is a place you definitely don't want to miss.
Thanks, Naomi. Well, I have to admit, I do have a sweet tooth and I need some pictures. So visiting that hotel sounds lovely, but what I really like is coffee, and I'm excited about a new idea from Starbucks. It's still in the testing stage, but Starbucks has launched a new program called Borrow a Cup. You pay a $1 deposit for a reusable cup, then when you bring it back, your deposit is returned, plus you will get 10 reward points. Starbucks will clean and sterilize the reusable cups, and the company also says each can of those cups replaces 30 of the paper disposable ones, and that means less waste. Starbucks is testing the program in Seattle through May. America's favorite condiment is currently under a shortage. Next time you order French fries, you might be surprised when you don't receive any ketchup. During the pandemic, restaurants have relied heavily on takeout orders, which caused a need for more ketchup packets. According to the Wall Street Journal, mom and pop restaurants, as well as chains like Texas Roadhouse and Long John Silver, reported low inventories for the condiment packet prices have risen 13% since January 2020. Thankfully, there is some good news for ketchup lovers. USA Today reports that the condiment company Heinz is working to increase in its supplies in order to produce 12 billion packets a year.
Kayla, did you catch the NCAA championship last night? It did not go at all the way I thought it was going to go.
I actually didn't catch it, but our sports anchor Justin Blue has an update on how the game went. Justin?
Thanks, guys. For just the second time in history, the state of Texas has a champion in college basketball. Hear all about it when we return.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
The Baylor Bears are national champions in college basketball. They took down the then undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs by a score of 86-70 last night to win the national championship. This was a dominant performance by Baylor from start to finish. The Bears never trailed in the game and led by as many as 20 points. Gonzaga simply had no answers to Baylor's ball movement and three-point shooting. Baylor shot 10 of 23 from downtown and shot 60% from three-point range in the first half alone. Jared Butler, Masio Teague, Davian Mitchell, and Adam Flagler off the bench all scored double-digit points for the Bears. As a team, Baylor shot nearly 45% from the field. They out-rebounded Gonzaga 38-22, and their offensive rebounding generated numerous second-chance points and opportunities. Defensively, Baylor was at the top of the nation in total defense this entire season, and their defense in the first half specifically is what allowed them to get out to that big lead. They held the Zags to 5 of 17 from downtown for the game, a team that regularly shoots 37% from three. Most importantly, Baylor held Gonzaga to a season-low 70 points. Now, Gonzaga wouldn't go down quietly, but every time the Bulldogs got within striking distance, the Bears just blew the game back open with their three-point shooting. That small ball lineup down in Denton is something special to watch, and they absolutely took it to the undefeated #1 team in the nation all season long in the national championship game. For the first time in program history, the Baylor Bears are national champions, denying Gonzaga in their pursuit of perfection. With college basketball season coming to an end, Mean Green fans will have one last chance to celebrate this historic and memorable season. UNT will hold a celebration event on Thursday night at 6 p.m. at the Super Pit to celebrate the accomplishments of the 2020-2021 season. This historic season included 18 wins, a conference tournament championship, and, biggest of all, a first-round upset in March Madness over Purdue, the program's first ever NCAA tournament win. Now, this event will give Mean Green fans a chance to hear from Vice President and Athletic Director Ren Baker, as well as head coach Grant McCaslin. Attendance will be limited to 15% capacity, and fans that can't make it out can watch a live stream of the event on the Mean Green Sports Facebook page from 7 to 7:30. Fans that do attend the event can claim commemorative items like posters, cut down nets and throw confetti, and pose with the Conference USA Championship trophy. Entry will be free and open to the public. For those of us missing and craving some UNT basketball, here is our opportunity to see the team one last time on Thursday at 6 at the Super Pit. Basketball season is over, but UNT soccer season is in full swing. The Mean Green soccer team ended in a 1-1 draw against UTEP on Friday night. UNT had 33 total shots, with 9 of those shots on goal. Devin Flannery scored the lone goal of the game for the Mean Green. Goalkeeper Kelsey Brand made 3 saves on 4 shots on goal. A goal in the 79th minute from UTEP ended this one in a draw. North Texas is now 6-2-1 overall this year and 3-1-1 in conference play. Their final regular season game is this Friday night at 7 p.m. at home against UTSA. UNT will need a win over the Roadrunners on Friday night, as well as a Rice loss against UTEP on Thursday night in order to win the Conference USA West Division. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Justin. It's no doubt that the pandemic has been hard on businesses, especially small businesses. But a local teacher is doing her part to try and save a historic business here in Denton. Check it out.
So I came to Denton back in the early 90s, and I found Rose Costumes at the time because I was vintage shopping. And I was just so inspired when I walked in there that I was kind of transformed into another place.
Rose Costumes has been a local Denton business for the past 45 years.
When I saw their post about them being in trouble of closing down, possibly because of the pandemic and just really struggling, and I thought, I have to do something else. They need more help than this. And so that's when the coloring book idea came about.
When Tiffany pitched her idea to Roses, they were immediately on board.
When Tiffany first came to us, she reached out via social media. We had a GoFundMe page up and said that she wanted to do this project. And I'll be honest with you, when I first heard about it, I thought, I mean, what a cool idea, but that's a lot of work. She came to us with this beautiful coloring book all about Denton, and Dentonites just love that, you know, and all the area businesses are selling them for us. I mean, these are other businesses that are suffering too, you know, and it just says so much about how people feel about Rose Costumes.
And the coloring book has done more than just help Rose Costumes.
It feels like you can't make a big difference if you're just one person, but we've raised thousands of dollars, and that's unbelievable. That's more than we ever thought we could have done. And it's ongoing. It's still going. It's like a snowball. It just keeps growing. So I'm super excited about, you know, to see how much we can actually help and raise in the future.
You can get your own Only in Denton, Texas coloring book at Gnome Cones, LSA Burger, Recycled Books, Discover Denton, Explorium, or rosecostumes.com for only $5. And all proceeds go directly to Rose Costumes.
That's such a great cause. I can't believe the students actually illustrated everything in the book.
I know. It was just her drawing class 3 and 4, 10th and 11th graders. Crazy, right?
I could never do it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.